Merry everything!
Merry everything. Hello.
Do we have to be talking about medical history mysteries on the holidays?
Find out today on Medical History Mysteries.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Medical History Mysteries. The holidays are upon us. And Tom, I can't help but wonder, should we be talking about medical histories when we're gathering with our families, or should we just finally take a break?
Well, you know what? I think I'd rather talk about that than politics. So yeah, let's focus on things that we can talk about where we can all agree or disagree. And for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but when I say tis the season, it's tis the season to be pudgy. That's me, okay? Because I just eat everything in sight because heck, why not? It's best time to eat. And I'm a bachelor, so if you put food in front of me, I'm going to swallow it. I'm not even sure who made it. I don't care. It's food and I'm going to eat it. So the problem is what do you do in these situations? You know, you've got people who are now on GLP agonists, listen, GLP-1 agonists, the GIP agonists. And so they want to eat lots of good food, right? But unfortunately, they're on this drug, which is helping them lose weight, which is a great thing, but they can't partake in all the food they want to eat, right? And people always ask me, why are these drugs so effective? What makes them better than, I'm going to date myself, fen-phen, right? And other drugs that we've used to lose weight in the past. And the bottom line with these drugs is very simply this. They have perfected portion control. Finally. Because every other diet, keto, whatever, restricts you from eating the things you love. But these drugs, you could eat whatever you want. You're just not hungry enough to eat it. But because the holidays are coming and because of all this, the temptation of all this good food, people might have a tendency to overindulge. And so that can be problematic if they're on the GLP-1 agonists, the GIP agonists like Ozempic and Mounjaro, because quite frankly, they can overeat and gastroparesis is always a threat. And that can end up being, a real problem for someone who eats more than they should. So my opinion is have the conversation about, first of all, eating all that food. But, conversations come up all the time. And if you're a dental professional, like I am a pharmacist, your family loves to pick your brain, right? Hey, take a look at this thing, they'll ask me, what about this drug? And I'm like, how do I even answer that question? So be wary that these conversations might come up, but also be thankful in a way because this is a chance for you to really help a family member where you haven't seen him for who knows how long, months or whatever. And now you can really give them some good sage advice. So whenever a family member approached me with a question about medication, I told them everything I knew, whether I then thought they were going to like it or not. Same thing with us in dentistry. But I think the main thing is you get asked a question as a dental professional around the holidays, which really has to do more with medicine than dentistry. Well, if you've heard me say this a million times, if you've been to my lectures, I always say dental professionals save lives because they save people from themselves. People make bad choices. They don't always do what their doctor tells them to do. And this is your golden opportunity to reinforce what their doctor told them and say, yeah, you really should get that looked at. And yeah, that's not heartburn. That's actually probably reflux disease, which can lead to catastrophic consequences like carcinoma and death. So yeah, you probably should go see your doctor.
It is so interesting because there are 57 systemic illnesses and counting that are impacted by oral health. And so you're right. I think us as oral health care providers, we can educate our patients, but also reinforce the importance of excellent oral care. But we also see our patients all year long. And I mean, this time of year, I'm always asking them, what are you doing for the holidays? What's happening? What's going on with the family? Who's cooking? Who's this? Who's that? And I think it's an opportunity for us to educate our patients so that they go back to their respective families and make sure they understand maybe the medical conditions that their family is suffering from so that they could understand maybe what they could be at risk for down the road, but also really improving the oral health and the well being of their patients, of their families by having them reinforce what we talk about in the operatory.
Look, you and I both know that dental professionals, are almost covert sometimes in their ability to, while family members are talking at them, they're like, looking at their teeth, looking at the state of the health of their gums, and see, well, sometimes the perio breath is, right? So you know more than you want to let on sometimes about the state of their oral health. It's a perfect opportunity to bring it up at that moment and just say, it's important to see a dentist twice a year. And when's the last time you saw your hygienist? Because it's almost like, well, unless I really have a problem, I don't really go to the dental office. And it's because of fear. If dentistry is defined by anything, it's defined by fear. People fear the dental professions. They fear pain. And so as a part of the profession, you're the ambassador, you're the emissary. You could say, look, I'm in the profession. Let me tell you, you're better off going than not going. You're better off seeing them on a regular basis than not seeing them on a regular basis. Because ultimately, oral health, good oral health means good systemic health. And you don't have to get deep in the weeds here about systemic inflammation and the link to atherosclerosis, but at least bring up the idea that, and many studies have proven it over the last couple of weeks, especially, that good oral health leads to good systemic health. So why not bring it up? You're there, you're a family member, you're not really, someone to be feared. Why not say it at that moment?
Absolutely. One of the most reliable predictors for overall well-being and longevity is people who go for routine dental care. So definitely a great way to a great opportunity to educate our families, educate our patients so that they can educate their families, and just make the world a better place around the holidays, right? 'Tis the season to be giving.
'Tis the season to be giving and to give of your knowledge, right? To make sure your family members not only get the good information, but look at the best side of this is they're going to look at you as a resource from now on, right? You give them good information, they're going to come back to you over and over again. And you keep preaching the same thing over and over again, that good oral health means good systemic health and good brain health, which is, as of late, I've seen a bunch of articles about this now. What's the downside, right? So overcome your fear and go see a dental professional on a regular basis.
All right, I'm going to be a jerk. Maybe it's not a good thing because let me tell you, I have an aunt that calls me all the time to get dental advice that she doesn't take, and then she'll call me again to tell me the same story, and I give her advice that she doesn't take.
Yeah.
So I don't know, everybody, just do your best.
Listen, I get this all the time. I've got relatives of mine that say, you keep telling me I'm supposed to take this drug, but I don't want to take it. And I'm like, Uncle, we've had this conversation how many times already? Just take the medication. Stop asking me. But it's out of love, right, that we do this for our relatives, and we want the best for them. So just all I can say is hang in there and do your best.
All right, everybody. Well, have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you all next week.
Happy holidays, everybody.